We know Tom for.
In-depth Brewers coverage from Greg Matzik and Jeff Falconio, the guys who know it best. Sports Central, weeknights at 6 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
Brewers retired in order in the top half of the first. No score here from Chase Field. And now taking the hill for the Crew, it's the right-hander Willie Peralta.
Peralta making his 14th start of the year, 6-5 with a 2.90 ERA. Last start in New York, went 6 innings, got the W for the Crew, and kind of righted the ship after a couple starts. And Willie will look to get the sinker working and get a bunch of ground balls tonight.
He's been one of the best. We don't really think about that. We think, wow, he throws hard, or that's a great slider. But for being a power pitcher, that sinker, there aren't a lot of guys that throw a sinker that hard, right?
Yeah, it is unique. Like you said, you think hard throwers, strikeouts, and Willie's really not a strikeout pitcher. He's a ground ball pitcher.
He'll face Gerardo Parra to lead things off, left-handed batter. Ramirez in at third, step on the grass, and the pitch. Parra takes the first pitch strike, hitting at .263 with 5 home runs, 24 knocked in. Peralta stands facing toward home plate, turns towards third and delivers, and it's up high, a ball and a strike. So as a hitter, if you're facing a guy who throws hard and has sink on that fastball, what does that mean?
Well, it means you're in trouble. But Willie is, and he is one of the harder throwing starters in the major leagues.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, slapped towards short. Segura charges, fields low, and tosses on to first for the out. Prado is retired on a bounce out to short. Here's the Brewers defense today. Davis, Elian Herrera is in center. Gomez out with a sore hamstring. Ryan Braun is in right. Ramirez, Segura, Jeanette, and Reynolds from third to first. Jonathan Lucroy doing the catching. And now Martin Prado doing the batting. Hitting at .278, 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. Bats from the right side against Peralta. Trying to dig a hole in that right-handed batter's box. Now he's ready. And the first one from Peralta. That's a strike. Fastball in there. I've had the opportunity to sit behind home plate during spring training and watch Peralta pitch. It seems like he's got a great deal of movement on that sinker, too. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ball slapped foul up first, and it's 2 strikes to Prado.
Well, he does, and for a right-handed hitter like Martin Prado, the ball will be running into his hands, so he'll get jammed a lot. Hit the ball kind of down where all the pine tar on his bat is.
He's behind 2 strikes and the pitch. Down and away, missing 1 ball, 2 strikes. Slider that time from Peralta.
But just that extra velocity makes the hitter cheat that much more. And when Willie can kind of make the ball go one way with his fastball and the other way with the slider.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball. Hit off the plate, up the middle. Tough play for Segura. He'll field and throw, and he still got him. What a play by Segura, charging that ball, fielding in front of second, and getting Prado for the second out.
Wow. Well, this is why we love Gene Segura. We've had 2 tough ground balls in the first inning from Peralta, and he's made both of the plays. First one was not an easy play. That was a remarkable play. Do or die, and made it look easy again.
Well, Segura, an all-star a year ago because of his bat, but if they voted in all-stars just because of their glove, he'd make it almost every year. Here's a guy who might be one this year, Paul Goldschmidt, hitting at .309, and he takes down and away ball 1. 15 homers, 51 RBIs, leads the league in hits. The Diamondbacks' best hitter, right-handed batter, crouch stance, and the 1-0 pitch. It's high and wide, 2-0. Go ahead, Craig.
This guy came onto the scene really in those 2011 playoffs against the Brewers. We faced him in that division series. He was a rookie then, but you knew he was going to be something special.
2-0, lined into right, a base hit. Paul Goldschmidt with a 2-out single. Diamondbacks have a base runner for the cleanup man, Miguel Montero.
And that's what Goldschmidt does best. He's so strong, he's able to use the opposite field like it's the pull side to most hitters. And lots of homers into that swimming pool here.
Yeah, Goldschmidt leading now the National League in among first basemen in balloting. Hard not to recognize that talent. So he's at first. He still runs a little bit too. He's stolen 5 bases. Montero, a lefty batter, with that hole open on the right side. A swing and a fly ball foul off to the left. And strike 1 to Montero. Jeanette is stationed out in shallow right. Now for a lefty batter, Craig, Peralta might throw the slider a little bit more often, right?
Well, he'll use the slider down and in to left-handed hitters, and kind of down and away to right-handed hitters.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, up high and in with the fastball that time. 1-1.
He thinks when he gets that pitch to where his other 2 pitches are, he can really feel like he's got 3 weapons to attack hitters with and kind of have them at his mercy.
Here's Aaron Hill, a right-handed batter, and the pitch. And strike 1. And for Hill, hitting at .257, 6 homers and 33 RBIs. But that belies his history against these Brewers. He hits them better than anybody ever has. .432 against the Crew lifetime. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice slider there from Peralta. 2 strikes.
This is a Brewers nemesis right here.
Yeah, sometimes you look at these numbers and you say, you know, what he did 5 years ago doesn't matter, but he does it every single year. Peralta trying to reverse that trend with runners at the corners and 2 outs. 0-2 to Hill. Down and away. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Throwing him 3 straight sliders to start off with.
And you sometimes wonder what causes that. Is it he sees the uniform and his eyes light up? The color of the uniform? Because it's different pitchers. It doesn't seem to matter who the pitcher is.
I mean, he's gotten hits off of Ben Sheets, Willie Peralta, and everybody in between. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. Frozen with a slider on the outer edge. Hill caught looking, and the inning is over. 2 hits and 2 left through an inning from Phoenix. No score.
Powerball and the Wisconsin Lottery want to take you inside baseball. Well, actually, we're digging into the outfield. Let's get our until 1993. That's when a Milwaukee groundskeeper, Go Milltown, is credited with the first outfield mowing pattern. But how do these grounds...
Diamondbacks nothing. Ramirez, Davis, and Reynolds coming up for the Crew. Brewers baseball, as always, brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer that's now back in its original can. It's Miller time. Here's Aramis Ramirez, the new cleanup hitter tonight.
The new old cleanup.
Yeah, he's been batting in the 5 spot. And Carlos Gomez not in the lineup. Got a sore hamstring, so Ramirez back in his familiar spot. Hitting .262. He's got 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. McCarthy delivers, and it's down and away, ball 1. Yeah, I was reading up on McCarthy in the notes. Each team issues press notes. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's down low. 2-0 gives us some tidbits on the guys. And it's what's fun about what the Diamondbacks do is they're very Twitter friendly. And they actually mention that Brandon and his wife have a combined. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And there's a strike, 2-1. 157,000 Twitter followers. So.
That's a fun fact for the game notes.
Yeah, it's just a funny thing that they toss in there. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And it's outside 3-1. And, for a pitcher, who's not having a great year and stuff, I mean, it's fun to see how he's continually engaging with the fans. That's a different dynamic than even just when you played a few years ago. Here's the 3-1, a swing and a foul back. And it's 3-2 to Ramirez. I mean, that's changed just recently in the last handful of years.
No, that's very unique. And I know McCarthy, you hear about McCarthy tweeting things, and he tweets really interesting, smart baseball stuff and non-baseball stuff. So he has fun with it, I think, and he always thought he kind of used it the right way.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Swinging a liner over first and into right, a base hit. And quickly to cut it off, Parra. That'll hold Ramirez to a single. Brewers have their first base runner. Ramirez lines a single to right. And Chris Davis is coming up.
Now that makes me sound like a Twitter expert, though, and I am not a Twitter expert.
But
I'm aware of people on Twitter.
Yes. You don't have to be on Twitter to know about Twitter.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. So don't follow Craig, because it's not on it. If you're following Craig, that means you might get a stalking charge, because there's no Twitter at all. Here's Chris Davis, who is on Twitter. It's just interesting how it's changed a little bit. Here's the first pitch, and Davis takes outside, ball one. For instance, yesterday, the Brewers dressing up for, going out, road trip. Hey, let's keep it light, let's keep it loose.
Because I didn't get the memo.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You're not often traveling with us every time.
But I wish I would have gone rapper, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I chose, because that's what all the clothes in the deepest, darkest reaches of my closet kind of go toward that. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball deep to right center field. Peralta back on it, still back, and it's off the base of the wall. He juggles it for a moment. Ramirez around third. He's being waved home. Now it skids away from Aaron Hill, and Davis will be held at third. It's going to be a two-base hit for him and bringing home Ramirez, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead.
Well, Chris Davis showing that great opposite field power. That he hits those balls the other way, and they just don't seem to come down. You don't think he gets them that well, but man, they just don't seem to come down ever. And that ball got about midway off the wall, I think. Just missed going out of here. And then Diamondbacks outfielders had a little bit of trouble getting it in and allowing Aramis to score all the way from first. Davis ends up on third.
And that'll be ruled a triple, I beg your pardon. And to give him his 30th RBI, here's Mark Reynolds with nobody out. Brewers open with a 1-0 lead. And the pitch. And that's down low, ball one. And it's 413 feet to the right of center field, but then it has a quick angle toward the right field corner where the pool is. He almost had a pool shot out there, but it is still a deep part of the ballpark. The pitch, Reynolds, check swing, no swing, 2 balls and no strikes. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station ID on the Brewers Radio Network.
This is Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ and WTMJ HD, Milwaukee.
I'm Joe Block along with Craig Counsell, Kent Sommerfeld, 2-0. Reynolds takes low, 3 balls and no strikes. Joining you from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Brewers leading 1-0 here in the second. Chris Davis at third with nobody out. He just drove home Aramis Ramirez. Reynolds, the longtime Diamondback, waiting. Here's the 3-0 from McCarthy. And that one is a little low. Ball 4. He's issued a walk. And the Brewers with runners at the corners and Gene Segura coming up. Now, Brewers already part of the way there. 7 or more runs in any inning for the Crew. That's a Menards big inning. That would make Kathy Johnsgaard from Winona, Minnesota, a winner of a $1,000 Menards gift card. Visit any Wisconsin Menards store to enter. Here's Segura in the 7th spot. Hitting at .247, a couple of home runs, 19 RBIs. Brewers with runners at the corners and nobody out in the second.
Doesn't use the hit and run a lot, but this may be a situation, should we get to 2-1 count here, that he would consider a hit and run. And you can do those things when you have the lead. You can be more aggressive.
Toss over to first. Reynolds scampering back. And Segura would be a good candidate, right? Because good contact hitter.
Good contact hitter. Right type of pitcher on the mound. Ground ball pitcher. Throws a lot of strikes. Segura hits a lot of ground balls. So
I'll see what they do here. Good count for it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball, slap to first. Goldschmidt has it. He'll go to second for 1. The relay is in time. A double play. 3-6-3. Davis scores. No run batted in. Brewers double their lead. It's 2-0.
Well, Gene smoked that ball, but right at a drawn-in Goldschmidt. The tough 3-6-3 double play, but ball was hit so hard they were able to get the speedy Segura.
He's a good first baseman, too. I don't think people recognize that, huh? Goldschmidt?
He is. He's an all-around player, like you mentioned. He'll steal a base if you give it to him. Plays good defense, and we all know about the hitting.
There's Elian Herrera. He swings and ropes one into right. Parra can't get it. Base hit. Herrera, in his first game back, is the center fielder for the Crew. He is 1 for 1 tonight with that base hit to right. And try to start something new with 2 outs. Willie Peralta comes up. Did you ever bat in the 8-hole?
I batted a lot in the 8-hole.
What is it? I mean, there's a responsibility in the National League for the 8-hitter, isn't there?
Well, I think, that looks like an innocent single right there. But what it does is it gets Willie Peralta at bat this inning, and it clears the pitcher's spot this inning. So even if the Brewers don't score this inning, Scooter Gennett in the top of the order. So we know we're getting, at worst, Gennett, Braun, Lucroy next inning instead of Peralta leading off the inning. And that goes unknown. It just turns out to be a single for Elian Herrera that doesn't produce a run, but clearing the pitcher spot can pay dividends later in the game.
So Peralta takes ball 1. Hitting .119 in his career. Here's the pitch. Swinging a chop foul up third, and it's a ball and a strike. Yeah, you'd much rather have Gennett, who I think you researched earlier. What's his career? Over 300, you were saying?
Scooter's a career 310 hitter now and over 450 plate appearances.
So you'd rather have that than 119 leading off the inning?
That works for me.
Here's the 1-1. Backs away from an off-speed pitch. Curveball missing inside. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Peralta. So that's why Herrera's base hit was important. And that's not to say Peralta can't do anything. He hit a couple of home runs in spring training. If he gets the right pitch. Here's the offering. Swinging a ground ball to short. Owings has it. He'll go the short route to second. Get the out there. And the inning is through. Brewers strike for 2 on 3 hits and strand a man. And through an inning and a half from downtown Phoenix. Brewers 2, Arizona nothing.
Free, fast, and unlimited. That has a nice ring to it. Free, fast, and unlimited. Yeah, that definitely works. Especially when it comes to the Charter Triple Play. Charter gives you
radio station 620 WTMJ.
Sunday, June 29th, the Brewers battle the Rockies, and all fans will receive a Scooter Gennett bobblehead courtesy of the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
I like that. Did you ever get a bobblehead?
I did. Had one here in Arizona and a couple in Milwaukee, I believe.
Yeah? Well, I want one.
There's many available.
Brewers leading 2-0 as we start the bottom of the second. David Peralta, Chris Owings, and Roger Kieschnick coming up. Our contestant in tonight's Potawatomi Bingo Casino Pays Big 21 contest is Stephanie Moss from South Milwaukee. And if the total score of the game adds up to 21, Stephanie, you're going to win $5,000 from Potawatomi Bingo Casino. And Stephanie, if you're a Firekeepers Club member, an additional $5,000 in Firekeepers Club reward play. Visit WISports.com to find out more. And on this road trip, that could happen. A lot of higher scoring facilities here. The pitch. Strike one to David Peralta. Diamondbacks have allowed the most home runs in baseball. Rockies pitchers have allowed the second most. Here's the offering. And it's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peralta hitting at .315, a home run and 2 RBIs. Left-handed batter. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, rolled foul up third. And 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peralta v. Peralta. One-two pitch. Swinging a ground ball, rolled through the hole, right side, base hit. David Peralta singles to right. And now Chris Owings will come up. Brewers leading 2-0 here in the second. Now Willie Peralta gets to work with the lead, and how does that change his approach, if at all, early in the game?
Well, I don't think it changes too much. Willie, what you're really hoping for is Willie to just kind of settle into his game, get a feel for his sinker and his slider, and just kind of get on cruise control with it.
First one from Peralta into Owings. There's a strike. Fastball over. Chris Owings at .270. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs. So for Peralta, it really that confidence and comfort factor, that's really important for him, huh?
I think so. We've seen Willie on the mound at times get a little emotional.
0-1, hit up the middle and through a base hit. And Peralta will stop at second. Owings with a single up the middle, and the Diamondbacks with 2 on and nobody out. Roger Kieschnick just called up, coming to the plate.
So just getting him settled in and through the first couple innings, I think, has always been important for Willie's starts. And both catchers, I think, Jonathan Lucroy and Martin Maldonado, do a great job of that.
Right now, a couple of hits. Kieschnick 0 for 7 as a Diamondback in his first stint. Last year played for the Giants. Left-handed batter. And the pitch. And it's down low, ball 1. That sinker at 97 from Peralta. It's kind of easy to read how Peralta is feeling out there.
Yeah, and that's all right. I mean, it's some guys are like that. Some guys kind of wear it on their sleeve. Some guys hide it pretty well.
1-0 pitch, swinging a foul back, 1-1.
But I never thought, if it's your personality to show your emotion, I think you got to show it. Keeping it stuck inside, that doesn't work for some guys. And Willie's, he's a demonstrative. On the mound, he's very demonstrative, and that's how he kind of gets his frustrations out a little bit.
Here's the 1-1. And just missed away. 2-1. So an ex-player just said demonstrative. Wow. It's pretty good. You've brought your A game tonight. You stepped it up. You got the thesaurus out.
I got my list of 3-syllable words to use for the night. I just checked off 2. I got 2 left.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip. 2-2 to Kieschnick. Who's a player that a pitcher that you played with that was good, that was emotional?
Well, I think Randy Johnson was emotional. He was kind of the mean emotional. He had a scowl on his face the whole time he pitched, and he was tough to talk to even during the game.
2-2 pitch, down and away, 3-2. Peralta hopping off the mound after that one.
But there was times when you wanted him to just, settle down and understand that he was still the dominant person on the field, and when he made pitches, he was going to have success.
And Peralta's that kind of talent. I'm not going to say he's going to go in the Hall of Fame and win 300 games, but he's the guy out there. 2 on with nobody out. 3-2. Swinging a ground ball up the middle, through, base hit. Peralta touches third. He's waved home. Herrera's throw is offline and back behind Peralta. It goes to the backstop. Runners at second and third now with nobody out. It'll be an RBI single for Roger Kieschnick. His first hit as a Diamondback. And Arizona gets one back. It's 2-1.
Well, another ground ball up the middle, and Herrera misses the cutoff, which allows Kieschnick into second and takes away one of Willie's best friends, the ground ball double play.
As Rick Kranitz comes out for a quick trip. Well, these balls, I mean, a lot of them are just rolled through the infield, and that's what you want as a ground ball pitcher, right?
Well, it's you know, the good and bad of being a ground ball pitcher, the good and bad of the contact that a ground ball pitcher, you know, produces is that when you give up a lot of ground balls, some will go through, some will find holes, and there's nothing you can do about that. Willie just has to think, keep making that sinker, keep getting that ground ball. Eventually they get hit at somebody.
Single and second on the throw. Owings is at third. Kieschnick at second. Nobody out. And the pitcher, Brandon McCarthy, batting. And he'll take a strike. Change up on the inner edge. McCarthy at 125 with 1 RBI.
And the Brewers, Gene Segura sneaking in a couple steps to try to prevent that, and Scooter Gennett as well, to prevent that run from scoring. Kind of playing halfway right now.
Reynolds in on the grass at first base. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a liner over the drawn-in Gennett and into right center, a base hit. Owings scores. Kieschnick behind him. 2-run single. Brandon McCarthy. The Diamondbacks have the lead 3-2. His second and third runs batted in, and 4 straight singles to start the second inning for Arizona.
Well, that was a slider left up in the zone, and McCarthy put a good swing on it. And quickly the Brewers find themselves down.
This reminds me a lot of the 8th inning yesterday with Rob Wooten on the mound. He gave up 6 straight singles to start that inning. Here's the set and the pitch, and a swing and a miss. Gerardo Parra chased one up in the zone. Strike one. Now that ball was lined, and even if Gennett was playing back, it was going to be over his head. But for the most part, a lot of these balls just finding holes, and it's contributing to a big inning for Arizona. 1 strike to Parra. Bounced to short his first time. Here's the pitch. Swinging a ground ball right to second base. Could be 2 to short for 1. Segura's relay 2. A double play. There's his friend. 4-6-3. The Brewers turn 2. Another Charter Communications double play.
Well, what Willie needed for sure. A tough inning where pitch count was starting to climb a little bit, and gets 2 outs quickly on 1 pitch.
And now the base is clear for Martin Prado. Brewers now trail 3-2 Arizona in the second. And the pitch. Swinging a ground ball to first. Past the dive of Reynolds. That's into right, a base hit. Another roller that finds the right spot. The 5th single in this inning for Arizona. They've got 7 hits off Willie Peralta here today.
Well, another ground ball that gets through them. And one thing, having played on this infield for many years, this is a fast infield. And that ball right there, just out of the stretch, reaching Mark Reynolds. But that fast infield can contribute, obviously, to some ground ball hits.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Started him off with a slider. Goldschmidt with a single his first time. Well, we're in the second inning, and only Parra and Hill do not have hits off Willie Peralta. All singles, though, but enough with 4 straight to start this inning for Arizona to take a 3-2 lead. Here's the 0-1. And that's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, this is a point, and this is a hitter in the game where Willie has to understand that it hasn't been a good start, but you're facing one of the best hitters in the game, and you got to keep your game together here and keep it a 1-run game.
Now the set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And just a little low. Missed with a slider. 2-1.
Sometimes the most important bats of their game, we tend to always think you're in the 8th inning, 9th inning, but in a bat like this where the trains come off the tracks a little bit, but you can get this out to get out of the inning is a big moment in the game.
Toss over to first. Prado back. Yeah, Goldschmidt leads the league in hits. And hits for extra bases a lot. The difference between, say, an RBI double and getting him to end the inning, well, that could be paramount right now. You're right. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a pop-up. Foul ground, first base side. Jeanette and Reynolds. Jeanette will call off Reynolds and make the catch to end the inning. Bend, but don't break. And Peralta does that here in the 2nd inning. He gives up 5 singles, and Arizona pushes across 3. They strand a man, and through 2 innings from Phoenix. Diamondbacks 3, Brewers 2. Third inning on its way, and Arizona has a 3-2 lead over the Crew. Top of the order coming up, Jeanette, Braun, and Lucroy. Facing Brandon McCarthy working with the lead. Time for our U.S. Cellular Text the Booth. You can win Brewers tickets just by texting the booth. I'll tell you how to do it. Get your phone out and start your text with the word brew. B-R-E-W. Here's Jeanette. He struck out his first time in the pitch. That's inside, ball 1. And then put your question or comment in there and your first name and where you're from. In case Craig and I read it, then we could say hello to you. And send that along to 82783. McCarthy's 1-0. Jeanette swings and drives it to the gap in right center field. This one's deep, and Peralta going back. And there it goes over the wall in right center field. Scooter Jeanette with a long drive to center for his 4th home run of the year. And just like that, the Brewers have tied it at 3.
Wow. That was a blast. 413 and about maybe a 25-foot wall. That was not a place I thought Scooter could take a ball.
It is not a home run here unless you hit it over the yellow stripe. There's an overhanging fenced in the area. A little party deck out there. I mean, that is a very long way. Jeanette with his 4th home run. Here's Ryan Braun. And the pitch from McCarthy. There's a strike. Just to wrap that up again, that text number 82783, and you can go to wisports.com to find out more. Braun behind a strike. Here's the 0-1 from McCarthy. And that's down low, a ball and a strike. Craig, you were digging up some numbers about Scooter Jeanette before the game today. And it really started to blow my mind what he's been able to do in a short period of time.
Well, like you said, he's a career 310 hitter now, 345 on base.
1-1, hit on the ground slowly up third, but foul. 1-2 to Braun.
458 slug in over 450 plate appearances. Basically a full season now, almost a full season of at bats for Scooter, and those are all-star numbers, and this is from a middle infielder. So I think it's not a fluke anymore. It's not that it was a fluke, but it's real, and it's he's turning into a very productive offensive second baseman.
Now pitchers have made their adjustments. Here's the 1-2 to Braun. Swinging a ground ball fair up the first base line and toward the right field corner. Parra over to cut it off. That'll hold Braun to a single. And the Brewers coming right back, answering after the Diamondbacks struck for 3. The home run by Jeanette. Now a base hit by Braun. 3-3 tie in the third, and Jonathan Lucroy coming up. But Scooter Jeanette, I mean, if you tell me those kind of numbers for any second baseman, that's pretty darn good, right? I mean, that's an all-star, or at least all-star under consideration for being an all-star for a second baseman.
Oh, no question. And this is his first full season, so it's exciting. The Brewers have put 2 young players from their farm system, Chris Davis and Scooter, in their lineup this year, and both are producing.
Lucroy takes away ball 1. The funny thing is, Scooter Gennett's not even on the all-star ballot. But that just shows you how underrated. I mean, even with the Brewers, I haven't even. When you told me those numbers today, it didn't really occur to me how special that is for a young guy to be able to do that. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a strike in there, 1-1.
Well, we talk about a guy who wasn't. I think he was a prospect, but he wasn't the heralded prospect around the game that a lot of guys are, and he's really produced at a level that, like you said, is all-star caliber quickly in his young career.
And with a couple more home runs like that, maybe he'll start garnering some more attention. Braun always a threat to go. He's back over at first. 6 steals in his 8 tries. Gennett homering to a part of the ballpark. Did you ever hit one out that way?
I came about 50 feet short of that once.
I mean, that's big boy territory out there.
That is big boy territory. That's where the big boys go.
Here's the 1-1. Swinging a line drive, base hit into center field. Braun around second. He'll hold up there. Peralta, former pitcher, has a good arm in center. And so Braun scampers back to second. 3 straight hits for the Brewers here to start the 3rd inning. And Aaron Hill and Miguel Montero out to have a word with Brandon McCarthy. Well, here comes Mike Harkey, the new pitching coach for Arizona. But you're saying, Craig, McCarthy, this is kind of what we've seen from McCarthy this year.
He's given up a lot of hits. That's 106 on the year now, leading the National League. We've got 13 hits in this ball game already and no outs in the top of the 3rd.
Who's our Pays Big 21 contestant? Yeah, we might have a contestant for real tonight. Stephanie Moss from South Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Potawatomi Bingo Casino could come through for you tonight. Here's Ramirez, who singled to lead off the 2nd inning. 3-3 tie. Brewers with 1st and 2nd. Nobody out in the 3rd. The set and the pitch. And it's a strike in there. Ramirez in the cleanup spot. No Carlos Gomez this evening. Has a sore hamstring, getting the day off. Only the 7th game he's missed this year. The pitch. Check swing. He did go. And an inside breaking ball. 2 strikes. Brewers are 2-4 without Gomez. And in a very short time, just those 6 games, averaging 2.5 runs a game without Gomez. But tonight, I've already beaten that. Lots of contributors this evening already. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball rolled foul off the facing of the Arizona dugout. And still 2 strikes. I just can't get over the distance of that home run by Scooter Gennett. I remember in Texas last year, he hit a couple of home runs in a game. And now that was to the pull field. That wasn't to center field. But you could see that he has some power in there. 0-2, fouled straight back.
Yeah, I remember the one homer went to that second deck there, which is a little deceptive. That second deck is kind of hangs over a little bit. But this one right here to dead center, or just to the right of center field, and really the biggest part of the ballpark. And 413 is one of the biggest dimensions in the major leagues, really.
That would have gone out anywhere, except for the Polo Grounds. That would have been a Willie Mays special.
Willie Mays would have had a shot at it, right?
Here's the set by McCarthy, 0-2. Ramirez loops one into right. Parra coming on. He makes a diving catch. Braun has to get back to second. He'll be doubled off. And hard to blame him. Parra made a terrific catch. The Gold Glover in right, robbing Ramirez and picking up the outfield assist. 2 gone. Lucroy still at first. And Chris Davis coming up.
Well, that is Parra's cold calling card. He is an exceptional defender in the outfield. One of the best for sure, and he took away extra base hits for Aramis and more runs for the Brewers with a brilliant play.
Ramirez got robbed yesterday by Jay Bruce back at Miller Park. Brewers have hit into some tough outs the last couple of days. Here's Chris Davis. He tripled his last time. And he takes one down low, ball 1. 3-3 tie. Brewers batting in the third. We were talking earlier about Scooter Gennett, but also you said Chris Davis. I think we kind of forget that. No, he was hitting so many home runs last year in such a short period of time that everybody paid attention. But I mean, he's still on pace to hit about 25 home runs or so in his first full season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swinging a hard hit ground ball right into the gut of McCarthy. He'll toss on to first for the out. And the inning is over. We'll continue the conversation. Brewers get a run on a long home run by Scooter Gennett. 3 hits, a man left through 2.5 from Arizona. Brewers 3, Diamondbacks 3.
WTMJ for severe weather coverage as necessary. Again, a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for Dodge, Jefferson, and Walworth counties until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Visit Brewers.com/WeEnergies to cast your vote for the We Energies High Energy Player of the Year. You will be entered to win tickets, a luxury suite, and a signed jersey from the winning player. Vote today.
Sounds like a good one. And Miguel Montero is going to lead it off for Arizona. Aaron Hill. And then David Peralta, middle of the order, against Willie Peralta. 3-3 tie. Brewers with 6 hits, including a couple for extra bases. They've lined out sharply a couple of times. The Diamondbacks, on the other hand, have been collecting a lot of singles. A couple of balls hard hit. Many rolled hard through the infield. They have 7 hits. Brewers with 6. First one to Montero. A swing and a miss. Strike 1. Montero with a base hit back in the first. Getting back to more Montero-like numbers. Really had a down year last year offensively. 0-1. Swinging a pop-up foul. And 2 strikes.
Well, this Diamondbacks team obviously got off to a very slow start. But this is a good offensive team. There are hitters in here, Miguel Montero, Martin Prado, who got off to slow starts and have really picked it up in the month of June. And it's a difficult lineup to get through.
0-2 pitch. Down and in, 1-2. Yeah, we forget. We think, okay, well, these guys stink because they're in last place. But they're 8-22. And that's no good, of course. But just like the Brewers went through last year with that month of May, a 6-22 month. When it is in April that you have that month, everyone just thinks, well, you're going to be bad all year. Well, that's very rarely the case. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up and in, 2-2.
And this was a team with some expectations coming into the season.
Yeah, they played better than 500 balls since that start. And they took 2 out of 3 at Miller Park. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Montero could not hold up his swing. And a good, I think that was the changeup down and away, and he struck him out for out number 1. Was that a changeup or a slider, Craig?
I think that was a changeup.
That looked like it. That's a pitch, like you said before, if he gets that just 10 times a game, and it's a good pitch, boy, that's dangerous, huh?
It's really the next step for Willie Peralta, and really what it allows him to do is against left-handers.
First one in for a strike to Aaron Hill.
It just gives him another weapon against left-handers. The changeup is often a pitch used against the opposite-handed hitter. So if you're right-handed, pitcher, it's used against left-handed hitters and vice versa. So it's just another way to
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Give yourself an easier time against that opposite-handed hitter, which is usually a more difficult hitter to get out.
And usually opposing teams, if they have the luxury, they're going to load up that lineup against a right-handed pitcher with as many good lefties as they got. 0-2 pitch, down low, 1-2.
Well, it's one of the big, I think, changes you see in lineup construction these days in the big leagues is that teams are really taking advantage of what we call the platoon advantage. Hit lots of left-handed hitters against right-handed pitching.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul back. Still 1-2 to Hill.
And we see the Brewers making use of it with Ricky Weeks and Scooter Gennett, Mark Reynolds, and Lyle Overbay.
And why not? And it's worked great. Gennett batting .300. Ricky Weeks batting .300. That platoon has worked is about as good as it can. The pitch. Swinging a soft line drive into center. Herrera coming on, and he dives and makes the catch. Herrera takes one away in right center for out number 2.
A wonderful running catch by Herrera there. This is really, we talked about some of the dimensions. This is one of the bigger center fields in baseball. So for kind of a part-time outfielder like Herrera, it's a little bit of a challenging task to cover all this ground out there, but he ran a gapper down there and prevented a sure extra base hit.
Here's the lefty batting David Peralta. 2 outs, bases clear, and a wave and a miss. Strike 1 on that changeup down and away. Well, no Carlos Gomez tonight. He's got a sore hamstring. And no Logan Schaefer. He's in Nashville. So it's Herrera in center. Swing and a foul tip. Strike 2 through the changeup again. And Ron Renick saying in his pregame show that, among the 3 outfield positions, that's probably Herrera's best spot. Here's the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And now a ball and 2 strikes. And it's got to be a little easier in one sense that, the ball doesn't tail one side or another. But like you said, in the other sense, you got a lot of room to cover.
There's a lot of ground out there. And it's, the utility player that plays infield and outfield is rare.
Here's the 1-2. Check swing and no swing. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And really one of Elian Herrera's greatest strengths and attributes and what he brings to the table. He is that player that can play, multiple infield positions and multiple outfield positions. And it sounds like anybody could do it, but it's a rare player really, and that versatility is valuable.
And he's a switch hitter. 2-2 lined up the middle, base hit. Another ground ball getting through. That's the 8th hit for Arizona. Here's Chris Owings. It's funny, the Brewers seem to be hitting more line drives, hard fly balls, and Arizona's hitting more balls on the ground, but they're getting through.
Well, that's 8 singles now for the Diamondbacks.
Here's Chris Owings. He collected one last inning. 3-3 tie here in the 3rd, playing under an open roof. The pitch. And a strike. Beautiful sunset. We can see part of it as a magenta cloud kind of moving fast overhead. A little bit of wind today, breezy, and of course very warm. It was 101 at game time, but it's a dry heat. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. But on a night like this, once that sun goes down, it's pretty comfortable.
It's beautiful in here right now. You would never say it was 101 degrees out, would you?
It dips fast once that sun goes down, man. I wouldn't say it cools off, but it gets more moderate. Ball and a strike to Chris Owings. Peralta with 1 steal, leading from first, in the pitch. Swinging a liner into center. Herrera is there. He'll make the catch. And the inning is over. Herrera got a good jump on that ball and retires Owings to end the inning. 1 hit, 1 left for Arizona. 4th inning coming up. Brewers 3, Diamondbacks 3.
Good road safety.
WTMJ.
Fifth inning coming up. Peralta, Jeanette, and Braun do up 9-1-2. Brewers and Diamondbacks tied at 3. Opener of this 4-game series tonight from downtown Phoenix. Roof is open. And hard to believe triple digits at game time, and I can say it's a beautiful night. It really is.
Got to be a pretty big air conditioning bill here.
Yeah, I'd imagine. First pitch, swinging a ground ball to short. Diving stop. Owings gets up and throws on to first to get Peralta for out number 1. Owings showing some nice range at short.
Great play by Owings. Ranged far to his right, left his feet, and was able to get up and throw out Peralta.
And so 1 away, and let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Brewers Radio Network.
Wisconsin's radio station and home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ and WTMJ HD Milwaukee.
First pitch to Scooter Jeanette, and he'll take a strike on the inner edge. I'm Joe Block along with Craig Counsell and Kent Sommerfeld with you from Phoenix, Arizona, Chase Field. 3-3 tie. Bases clear with 1 out and a swing and a foul off to the left. 2 strikes to Jeanette, who hit a long home run to center his first time.
And one of the things that I'm always amazed at is we see Owings there at a diving play, and he gets up and he makes it look easy. We've had 3 diving plays in this game. Elian Herrera made a beautiful play, and Gerardo Parra robbed Aramis Ramirez.
0-2, lined foul again.
The big league defenders are so good, they make it look so easy. Like a diving play is almost a routine play for them. And it's one of the biggest differences from watching different levels of minor league baseball. The defense in the major leagues is so good.
That's why when a guy's hitting 300 like Jeanette is, the pitch swinging a fly ball to center, that one right at Peralta. He'll make the catch. And 2 gone, and Ryan Braun coming up. Boy, you really earned it. You know, it's fun to hear you have that perspective because you played in the big leagues and you've for a number of years, and so you're used to that. But because you go with your role as in the front office with the Brewers, you see a lot of the Brewers minor league players. For me, every year I try to go to a Chinooks game. I went to their opener this year just to see the college kids play, and you realize, boy, oh boy, like there's a long way to go. First pitch swung on, lofted foul off to the right, and strike 1 to Ryan Braun. These guys are the best in the business, and by far.
We always talk about how as you go up another level in the game speeds up and everything just gets a little faster, but the player makes it look a little easier at the next level.
0-1 to Braun, swinging another foul off to the right, 2 strikes.
And when you get to the top of the food chain, when you have the best in the world doing it, they often make very difficult baseball plays look very easy.
McCarthy ready. Here's the 0-2. Down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation and AAA Wisconsin reminding you, put the phone away while driving. Don't ever text. It's the law. No text is worth the risk. 1-2 to Braun. Swinging a ground ball towards short. Owings plants and fires and gets the out, and the inning is through. Brandon McCarthy has settled down to retire 8 Brewers in a row. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Willie Peralta back to the mound. Brewers and Diamondbacks tied at 3.
Thursday, June 26th is a Time Warner Cable Customer Appreciation Game. Bring last month's Time Warner Cable billing statement to the Miller Park box office for a buy one, get one free terrace ticket offer.
And here in the bottom of the 5th, Diamondbacks sending up Prado, Goldschmidt, and Montero. 2, 3, and 4. A 3-3 tie. Willie Peralta gave up a couple of singles in the first inning, 5 singles in the second, and another in the third before his first 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. Now the pitch to Prado is in for a strike. He's 1 for 2. Right-handed batter. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a fly ball to right. Deep. Braun back to the track. He'll make the catch. And Prado flies out to right to start the 5th. Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Baseball, a game of tradition. Players constantly compared to not only their peers, but to the all-time greats. And when I think of great, I think of Usinger's sausage. Usinger's makes their sausage that way. Game of tradition. And a tradition unlike any other. Usinger's sausage. Not the Masters. Usinger's sausage. It's good enough to just be the best today. And it's been good enough for the last 135 years. The pitch. That's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's what we have in our house. And it's the same sausage that's been made for more than a century, just like great Grandpa Fred did years ago. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Goldschmidt. Family owned. Delicious Usinger's sausage. Usinger's, an all-time great. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a foul, lined softly and hopping off the railing into the seats. Still 1-2 to Paul Goldschmidt. Speaking of all-time greats, Craig, thanks for sitting in for Uke here in this series.
Well, it's an honor, for sure. It was
Here's the 1-2 coming to Paul Goldschmidt. Down low, 2-2.
I was hoping he'd do all 162, but he took a little time to do some fishing, which I understand.
Yeah, he was saying the forecast was going to be a little bit windy, a little bit choppy waters on Lake Michigan, but here's the 2-2 pitch. Down and away, 3-2, wishing calm winds. And good fishing for you. He'll be back when the Brewers return home. Craig will be with us here the rest of this series here in Arizona. Here's the 3-2 again from Peralta. Swinging a pop-up. Third base, Ramirez. Waiting on it, and he'll make the catch, and the inning is over. Willie Peralta has sent down 7 Diamondbacks in order. 6th inning coming up. Brewers 3, Arizona 3.
Mr. Baseball Bob Uecker and his pal Tony.
Everyone knows that you love eating Usinger's sausage, Bob, but how are you cooking it?
I'm a natural, Tony. Low and slow, baby. That's 620 WTMJ.
6th inning coming up. This game settled down a little bit. Brewers and Diamondbacks tied at 3. Heart of the order coming up for the Crew. Lucroy, Ramirez, and Davis due up in our Woodman's Food Market's home run inning. Tracy Dobbinspec from Sun Prairie as our contestant. And Tracy, you're going to win $500 in the Woodman's gift card jackpot if a Brewers player hits a home run this inning. And you have some good contestants. And for each additional home run, Woodman's adds $100 to the jackpot total. Visit any Woodman's store to enter. Service and savings. That's Woodman's. Lucroy will start it off, 1 out of 2. And today, a sad day throughout baseball, as a Hall of Famer, which doesn't begin to describe, Tony Gwynn. The pitch, and it's a strike on the outer edge. Passed away today at the age of 54, way too soon. And Craig, I was wondering if you had had any interactions as a player with Tony Gwynn. Your careers overlapped. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And there's a strike, 0-2.
Tony's career was kind of winding down when I was getting going. We probably overlapped by 2 or 3 years, but obviously he was a great hitter. And I remember trying to find out what kind of bats he used. I'd heard he used kind of a light, smaller bat, which I was using.
Here's the 0-2 to Lucroy. And it takes away 1-2.
And somehow in my mind I thought, if I use the same bat Tony Gwynn uses, maybe, some of that Tony Gwynn hitting will rub off on me. So I found out what bat he used, and I had the clubhouse guy ordered a dozen of Tony Gwynn's bats, and they came, and I didn't get any more hits.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper back to the mound. McCarthy throws on to first to retire Lucroy for the first out. 9 men in a row sent down by McCarthy, and Aramis Ramirez is coming up.
But obviously he was a wonderful hitter. And when Tony Gwynn Jr., his son, played for the Brewers, occasionally Tony would come out when we were in San Diego for extra batting practice and got to interact with him. And he was a baseball guy. He had a lot of energy for the game and a lot of energy for hitting. And
here's the pitch. Ramirez cracks one into center, a base hit. He's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. 2 out of 3 now with a 1-out single, and Chris Davis coming up.
And he was fun to be around. He was when you were around him, you were a sponge, certainly, as a hitter. You were a sponge. You listened, and you kind of fell on every word he was saying.
Always happy, jovial, willing to talk. Interacting with him just a couple of times, meeting him in my minor league days, visiting San Diego and being in awe of him post-career. The pitch, outside ball 1. And then when Tony Gwynn Jr. was with the Dodgers, and I was there that season, Senior would make his way occasionally to Dodger Stadium and just talk hitting with guys. And everyone, in this era, some guys are characterized as being me players or selfish or into the money or whatever. 1-0 hit on the ground toward third. Prado on to second for 1. The relay is in time. A double play. 5-4-3. Davis grounds into 2, and the inning is through. But Tony Gwynn, as good as they come, and he will be missed. Passing away today from cancer at the age of 54. Through 5.5 from Arizona, we're still tied at 3. 6th inning coming up, bottom half. Arizona is sending up Hill, Peralta, and Owings against Willie Peralta. 3-3 tie. Sartori invites you to try Sartori Bellavitano cheese, one of Sartori's finest. Sartori, committed to making exceptional cheese. First pitch, and ball inside. Changeup missing, 1-0. Sartori also supports the Mac Fund in their fight against childhood cancer. Sartori, try some today. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to center. Herrera drifting back, and he's able to retire it for the out. 1 away. Aaron Hill flies out to center. David Peralta coming up. Peralta 2 for 2. Craig, he's an interesting story. Now looking over the Diamondbacks on the plane on the way here, starting to look at some guys. I say, I have no idea who David Peralta is.
I was right there with you. I had to look him up today as well.
First pitch to him, and it's inside ball 1.
But it is a great story. He originally signed with St. Louis as a non-drafted free agent out of Venezuela, released, and spent a couple years in independent baseball.
1-0, fouled off. Inside fastball, 1-1.
And really has played very little minor league baseball. Signed last year with the Diamondbacks and finds himself in the big leagues.
At age 26. Swinging a foul, 1-2. And he was a pitcher with the Cardinals. Never let him have a chance to hit. And in the minor leagues, in independent ball, all he did was hit. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up and in, 2-2. How many times do the Cardinals let somebody go and they go on to do better outside of St. Louis? I mean, as good, okay, fine. But better? Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball to center. Herrera turning around. Now he's there and makes the catch, 2 away.
Well, you root for kids like that have those kind of stories. It's been kind of a uneven path for him probably, and a lot of people told him no, it sounds like, but and he's having success hitting over 300 in the big leagues in his young career. So it's you root for players like that.
Yeah, when he was playing for the Rio Grande White Wings or the Wichita Wing Nuts, seemed like a long ways away. Chris Owings takes a strike. Visit your local independent liquor store and buy 2 18-pack bottles of Miller Lite, Miller 64, or Miller Genuine Draft, and receive a free Summerfest ticket. A 1 pitch. At strike 2 to Owings. Had the great pleasure of getting out to Polish Fest over the weekend, and always love going to the Summerfest grounds. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Peralta has sent down 10 Diamondbacks in a row. 7th inning coming up. Brewers and D-backs tied at 3.
Badger Mutual 20 WTMJ.
Seventh inning coming up. We're still knotted at 3. And the Brewers will send up Reynolds, Segura, and Herrera 6, 7, and 8 against Brandon McCarthy. Sendik's Food Markets donates $100 to the MAC Fund for each stolen bag by the crew. When you see the red bag, you know it's quality. Sendik's. Reynolds had his best season with Arizona, leading things off. He grounds it foul up third. Might have cracked the bat there, and yep, he's going to get a new piece of lumber. Strike 1 to Mark Reynolds. A walk and a bounce out. McCarthy pitching into the 7th inning. He has not completed the 7th in his last 5 starts. Starting the inning, though, at just 74 pitches. One of his more efficient outings. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Reynolds takes outside. And it's a ball and a strike.
This game has done a bit of a 180. Both teams looked like they had the opposing starting pitcher on the ropes, and both guys have settled down.
1-1 pitch. Swinging a foul back. Why is that? Is it because the sun set here and it got dark? Or, I mean, what?
Well, it's a credit to the starting pitchers. And in my opinion, they've made some adjustments, whatever they may be, and they've gotten to that rhythm that we talked about earlier and executing their pitches.
There's the 1-2 from McCarthy, swinging another foul back. Yeah, Mark Reynolds, for folks who think of him as a guy who signed a minor league contract with the Brewers this year and don't really know his history. Back here in 2009, he had a mammoth year. Hopping off the mound, a grounder diving stop by Hill from his knees, throws on to first in time for the out. That is a terrific highlight reel play by Aaron Hill. And the Brewers robbed again by more Diamondback defense, 1 away.
Well, Hill almost right behind the second base bag, dove, and ball popped out of his glove, picked it up with his bare hand, and from his knees threw out Reynolds. Ron Renicky going to visit with the umpire to let the replay crew check if we.
And looks like he was probably thrown out by a hair, and so Renicky will abstain from challenging. Gene Segura coming up. We have seen Tom Amansky video type plays here today. Swinging a foul, strike 1.
Well, yeah, Diamondback defense has really got Brandon McCarthy into that rhythm.
They've made some sensational plays today. Really, the big one was Gerardo Parra back in the third. A pitch, and Segura takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers had the first 3 men on to reach. First and second with nobody out. Ramirez looked like he had an extra base hit. And Braun was doubled off, and that quickly thwarted any further of a rally. 1-1. And it's outside 2-1 to Segura. And on a ball like that, very easily starting an inning, working from the stretch the rest of the way.
59, Zach Duke. Warming up in the Brewers bullpen, 59.
McCarthy over the head to the belt, the 2-1. And shot the corner and missed again, 3-1. Brewers have a left-hander, Zach Duke, starting to loosen down the right field line. Brewers have made some nice plays on their own. Segura with a good play in the first inning, robbing Prado. And Leon Herrera, a diving catch. There's a swing and a line drive to center, but David Peralta is there to retire Segura for the second out. He's 0 for 3. And Leon Herrera coming to bat with the bases clear, 2 outs, 3-3 tie in the 7th.
So these are the decisions a National League manager has to make. If Leon Herrera gets on base, do you pinch hit for Willie Peralta, go to the bullpen and try to score a run the next inning, or do you let Peralta hit, and while he's on a roll out there, seemingly in rhythm, going through innings pretty easily, do you let him go one more inning?
The pitch, and Herrera, the switch batter, takes inside, ball 1. Lyle Overbay has moved out on deck. 95 pitches for Peralta.
On deck to pinch hit for 38, Peralta.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swinging a ground ball foul. And Craig, it's not like Peralta's pitching badly. He's retired 10 men in a row, but in a tie game, he might need that run.
In a tie game, I think Renick's decided, any man on, we got to take our shot.
1-1 pitch. Herrera grounds it foul, and now 1-2. And the American League, you got the DH, doesn't matter. Pitcher's done, then you take him out. I thought it was interesting, the call that Renick made last night with Marco Estrada. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call. And Herrera caught looking, and for now the question is moot. Peralta will come back out for the bottom of the 7th. Our 7th inning stretch presented by United Association. It's the Brewers 3 and Arizona 3. Our 7th inning stretch presented by United Association, Union of Plumbers, Fitters, Welders, and Service Technicians. Quality training, advanced skills, and career opportunities. Join the UA. Go to UA.org. Roger Kieschnick to lead it off. Takes one down low for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is low again. 2-0. McCarthy is out on deck, the Diamondbacks pitcher. And then Parra to follow, 8-9-1. 3-3 tie underneath an open roof here in Phoenix. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, hit hard and through toward right center. A base hit. Kieschnick around first. He'll hold up as Herrera uncorks a wild throw in toward short. Kieschnick with a leadoff single. That's Arizona's 9th hit. It snaps 10 in a row, sent down by Peralta. And McCarthy staying in. He'll bat for himself. Why not? He's at 88 pitches, and he's allowed just one base runner since the 3rd.
Should be a sacrifice situation here.
Squaring the bunt and the pitch. And a ground ball toward first base. And Reynolds' only play is on to Jeanette covering first. Sacrifice goes 3-4. Kieschnick moves to second with 1 out. And back to the top for Gerardo Parra. Well, we talked last inning about whether the Brewers would bat Peralta or not, but in this situation, leading off the inning with a base hit, you're probably going to try to bunt a guy over anyway in a tie ball game, or at least you'd think about it.
Yeah, it's when the pitcher's going to bat there, it's an obvious sacrifice situation. And now Renick has the choice too with Zach Duke in the bullpen still to play matchups here or to stick with Willie.
Parra, a left-handed batter, and the first pitch came in and hit him. Plunked him on the arm. Parra with a look toward the mound. Still looking toward the mound as he walks up first base, pounding his right toe with his bat. Now he drops his bat. First base umpire Ted Barrett accompanying Parra toward first base. He gave Peralta a long stare down. Got hit right in the ribs with a fastball. No warnings or anything. Just came inside and missed, but Parra didn't like it. So first and second with one out, and Martin Prado is coming up. Paul Goldschmidt is on deck. One out. Talk about a good time for a double play ball.
This is the ground ball at bat.
Peralta had 100 pitches. We're in the seventh, tied at 3. Here's the pitch. And it's down and away. Ball 1 to Prado. 1 for 3 tonight. Brandon Kinsler has joined Duke. Kinsler, a right-hander, in the Brewers bullpen. 2 on, 1 out for Arizona. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And a strike. Got an off-speed over. 1-1. Lead runner is Kieschnick on at second. Parra is aboard at first. Both average runners. Peralta comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball to first. Reynolds has it to short for 1. Segura's relay in time. A double play. Peralta there to cover the bag. A 3-6-1 inning-ending double play. Peralta gets out of it, and the Brewers will take a tie to the 8th inning. What a play by Mark Reynolds to start that Charter Communications double play ball.
Well, great 3-6-1 double play. That is one of the toughest plays in the game. Kirk Gibson out to have a conversation with first base umpire, and
nothing more could be said.
Looks like, well,
let's see here. They are going to
go to review, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at this to see if Prado beat out the back end of the double play. Looks like he was out on the replay.
And the only question I would have is,
was
his foot on the bag?
And for a pitcher going over and rushing to cover first base, it's not easy.
That is such a difficult play for the pitcher to find the ball and the bag at the same when they're arriving basically at the same time. To find both is a very difficult play.
It looks like the throw beat him, so that's not an issue.
And we haven't seen a conclusive view of his foot not being on the bag.
Has to be enough to overturn it. And he is out, and the double play is completed. And the Diamondbacks are out of challenges, and the Brewers are out of the jam. 8th inning coming up. We're still tied at 3.
What? Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
It's the Fresh Eats and Free Eats ticket giveaway from Subway restaurants. For every $25 you spend at Subway, you'll earn a free terrace level ticket for select Brewers home games while supplies last. Visit Subway for details.
And we begin the 8th inning, tied at 3. And Lyle Overbay announced as the pinch hitter for Willie Peralta. And as soon as that happens, Kirk Gibson has made the U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen. When the Brewers make a call, they only use U.S. Cellular. We'll tell you about the new Diamondbacks pitcher when we return to Chase Field, tied at 3. Back after this on the running off the 8th inning, still tied at 3. And Arizona brings on a new pitcher, the left-hander Joe Thatcher.
Thatcher making his 32nd appearance of the season. 1-0 record with a 2.79 ERA. He's really their left-handed specialist. So Ron Renicky counters with Ricky Weeks.
And the right-handed batter will pinch hit for Lyle Overbay, who pinch hit for Willie Peralta, who's done after 7 innings tonight. And Weeks, the pinch batter, facing the lefty Thatcher. The pitch. And it's high for ball 1. Ricky Weeks hitting at .292, 2 homers, 13 RBIs. And he's hitting .296 as a pinch hitter. 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. The left-handed batting Scooter Gennett is on deck. And then Braun to follow here in the Brewers' 8th inning.
This is the Diamondbacks' real. Kirk Gibson would really like to use Thatcher versus lefties only.
2-0 misses inside, 3-0 to Weeks.
And you can see he's just 19.2 innings in those 32 appearances.
And almost always against lefties. 3-0 pitch. And a strike, 3-1. He doesn't throw very hard, but that breaking ball, I would imagine as a lefty, it's probably really tough to pick up. But for a right-hander, you can kind of see it coming a little bit better, huh?
A little bit of a funky arm angle from Thatcher.
3-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball wrapped foul. 3-2 to Weeks. Kind of lifts the leg and hides the ball, slanting his body away from the hitter, and then almost catapulting that ball a little bit. 3-2 to Ricky Weeks. And the pitch. Strike 3 call. Weeks caught looking. A fastball on the outer edge at 86. And the pinch hitter down on strikes to start the 8th. Scooter Gennett, the lefty batter, coming up. So Peralta, 7 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned. No walks and 6 strikeouts. 103 pitches for Peralta. Will not factor in the decision unless the Brewers take the lead here and hold on to it. Brandon McCarthy went 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, a walk and 2 strikeouts. The pitch. And Gennett takes a strike on the inner edge. He's 1 for 3 with a long home run to center back in the 3rd. 3-3 tie, 8th inning. Prado playing in at 3rd. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a pop-up. Back of short, shallow left. Kieschnick coming on. And it's the shortstop Owings down the left field line to make the catch. 2 gone in the Brewers' 8th. Will Harris, a right-hander, has been loosening in the Arizona bullpen. And here comes Kirk Gibson. That's who he wants. Braun has been announced. And Will Harris will be coming in for Arizona. The U.S. Cellular call to the bullpen has been made. When the Brewers make a call, they only use U.S. Cellular. 3-3 tie, 8th inning, 2 outs, bases clear. Back in a moment on the Brewers Radio Network.
Powerball and the Wisconsin Lottery want to take you inside baseball. No, really, we're going to take
.org.
Two outs, bases empty for the Brewers here in the 8th inning in a 3-3 tie, and the Diamondbacks turn to their 3rd pitcher of the night, right-hander Will Harris.
Harris on for his 12th appearance of the season. 0-run record with a 7.30 ERA. Split in time between Reno and the big league D-backs this year.
He'll be run on to face Ryan Braun. Singled back in the 3rd. Also lined out and grounded out. The pitch. Wide for ball 1. Brewers have had 1 base runner since the 3rd inning. That was a single by Ramirez, and then he was quickly erased on a double play. Here's the 1-0. Knee high and inside. 2-0. Conversely, the Diamondbacks, since that 3rd inning, have managed just 2 base runners, 1 on a base hit, another on a hit by pitch. And 1 was erased on a double play to end the 7th inning. There's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0 to Braun with Jonathan Lucroy on deck.
Let's see if this is the spot where Ron Renicky gives the green light to maybe get a long one here.
Ron homered on Saturday. 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way. Ball 4. And a 2-out walk issued to Braun. Just the 2nd Brewers base runner since the 3rd inning. And Jonathan Lucroy coming up. 3-3 tie, 8th inning in Brewers trying to start the road trip with a win. Entering play tonight. 3.5 games ahead of St. Louis. Cardinals winning tonight on our Marshfield Clinic scoreboard. They beat the Mets 6-2. Here's the set and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Threw the fastball by him at 92. Strike one. Lucroy with a single, and he's bounced out twice. Braun leads from first. And Harris steps off to get him back. Braun has stolen 6 bases, been thrown out twice.
This is the kind of spot where you take a chance to steal a base, get that runner in scoring position.
Another toss over to first. Braun with a headfirst dive back. Outfield playing deep for Lucroy. I would call it no doubles, but Prado is at regular position away from the line at third. Maybe a step toward the line. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's outside. 2-1 to Lucroy. Braun walked on 4 pitches. Now Harris is behind Lucroy 2-1. Brewers batting in the 8th. 3-3 tie. Offensive explosions early and then quiet. Braun leads the pitch. Missed outside, not by much. 3-1. And Ramirez, who has stung the ball all 3 times tonight, he's on deck. Joe Thatcher went 2/3 of an inning with a strikeout. Retired both men he faced. And now Harris. Braun leads from first. 2 outs in the 8th. Now the set and the pitch. And it's low. 3-1 now to Lucroy.
Let's see if Ron Reineke starts the runner here. I think with Harris having a little trouble with the strike zone, he'll let Lucroy just hit here.
3-2. Braun goes, or 3-1 I should say, is down low, ball 4. It's a walk. And Lucroy walked. Braun would have been out at second base. But Lucroy walked, and so now 2 on with 2 out, and Aramis Ramirez is coming up. And Mike Harkey, the Diamondbacks pitching coach, coming to the mound.
Well, 2 free passes. Put a runner in scoring position for the Brewers.
And Ramirez, who has hit the ball hard all 3 times, coming up. Well, he looked late in the game, and Arizona, if they get a lead, they have Addison Reed, who has been good. Not like the team that they just faced, though, in Cincinnati with Broxton and Chapman and the host of other middle relievers they have. But Diamondbacks have had a kind of just a fair bullpen this year.
The bullpen's been I think you described a league average bullpen. They've done a decent job.
But this is still that inning where, if you're the Brewers, this is probably the chance to strike, even with 2 outs. So Harkey, the former Cub, has the talk with Harris. And Ramirez coming up. He singled in the 2nd, lined out to the gap in the 3rd inning, and then singled up the middle in the 6th. Batting here in the 8th with 1st and 2nd and 2 outs. 3-3 tie. The pitch. And strike 1. Fastball at 93, right on the outer edge. Both teams have led, but we've been tied since the third. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it's down and in. A ball and a strike to Ramirez. Braun with good speed on at second. Lucroy a fair runner on at first. Harris comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ramirez swings and misses. Big cut on an inside fastball, 1-2.
Harris sticking with 3 fastballs this at bat, and he made a real good pitch there. Up and in on the hands of Aramis.
A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And the pitch. Breaking ball down and away. Ramirez able to lay off. 2-2.
Well, these are the situations Aramis is so good at. The RBI situations and understanding what the pitcher's trying to do to him.
Here's the 2-2 from Harris. Ramirez checked his swing. No swing. Braun will move to third on the appeal. Montero, the catcher, was looking toward first base, and Braun smartly scoots into third.
Well, excellent base running by Brawny there. He saw a dirt ball, kind of a 2 outs, 2 strikes. You see that bat going, you're kind of cheating a little bit. And he got to third standing up with no throw.
Ruled a wild pitch, although the ball never got away from Montero. First and third with 2 outs. 3-2 to Ramirez. Lucroy on the move with the pitch. Here it is. Breaking ball hit to third. Fair ball and toward the corner and left. Braun is in to score. Lucroy around third. Eddie Cedars waving him home. He will score on the 2-run, 2-out double by Aramis Ramirez. And the Brewers have taken the 5-3 lead.
Big 2-out hit by Aramis. Snuck a ground ball between that third base bag and third baseman Martin Prado. Lucroy running on the pitch was able to score from first base. Brewers 5-3.
Ramirez with RBIs 29 and 30. He's having a great night. And the Brewers with their first lead since they scored a pair of runs in the second inning. They could add to it with 2 outs. Here's Chris Davis. And the pitch from Will Harris. Curveball inside, ball 1. 5-3 Brewers in the 8th. Ramirez comes through. And both walks coming around to hurt Will Harris. And now Peralta in line for a victory should the Brewers hold on. The pitch. Swing and a line drive off the glove of Owings, trickling into left field. And Ramirez will come in to score. It's an RBI single for Chris Davis. The Brewers have another. It's 6-3. And a lot of the fans making the trek from Wisconsin delighted here for this 3-run 8th inning.
2 big 2-out hits. Chris Davis with a line drive just out of the reach of Owings. Made a great effort and just trickled off his glove, allowing Aramis to score easily. But those 2-out base hits are big hits.
4 straight men have reached for the crew, all with 2 outs, all off Will Harris. Now Mark Reynolds. And the pitch. Reynolds takes one way up high, ball 1. 3 runs across. Brewers lead 6-3 here in the 8th. And because there was 2 outs and 2 strikes, Lucroy, or 3-2 I should say, Lucroy able to score on that previous ball. Ramirez able to run on contact. There goes Chris Davis trying to steal second to throw the tag, and they got him. And that will end the inning. Brewers score 3 times on 2 hits, and will send it to the bottom of the 8th. Brewers now have a 6-3 lead.
Your local.
Will Smith out of the bullpen has been the rock for the Brewers this year, making his 36th appearance and with a 1.14 ERA, a sparkling 1.14 ERA. He has been a savior for the Brewers.
And he's on to try to protect his 6-3 lead. Before he starts up, we got to step out 10 seconds. Station ID on the Brewers Radio Network.
Wisconsin's radio station and home of the Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ and WTMJ HD Milwaukee.
I'm Joe Block along with Craig Counsell and Kent Sommerfeld joining you from Chase Field in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. 6-3 Brewers lead. Paul Goldschmidt to lead it off, then the lefty batting Montero. Aaron Hill to follow. 3, 4, and 5. Brewers score 3 times, all with 2 outs in the top half of this inning. Smith sets and delivers, and it's outside, ball 1. Craig, what a find for the Brewers pro scouting department finding Will Smith. I remember chatting with pro scouting director Zach Manassian on the night of the trade, the 1-0 pitch. And a curve down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're at the Bucks game. He said, hey, we traded Norichika Aoki tonight. I said, oh, man, I love Aoki. And who didn't? Here's the 2-0 pitch. And it's in for a strike, 2-1. I said, who we get? We made a trade with the Royals. We got Will Smith. I said, that's great. Who's Will Smith?
Well, that's, when you're trading for young players, sometimes we're not going to always recognize their names, but.
Here's the 2-1 from Smith. A swing and a liner in the right, and a drop in for a base hit. Paul Goldschmidt, who leads the league in hits, starts off the 8th inning with a single, and Miguel Montero is coming up.
Well, Zach and his scouts did an outstanding job on this one because, I really think this guy warrants all-star consideration. There's been kind of a movement lately where when it, because it counts, it counts if you win the game, that you take some players that can help you win the game. And this guy has been, as good as there is against left-handed hitters this year in the National League.
Well, let's hope that Mike Matheny considers him. Brewers, here's the first pitch. Lefty Montero waves at that breaking ball, strike 1. An All-Star game is going to be interesting, not only to see how many Brewers get in, but also the result of the game, because the Brewers being in first place, well, if the Brewers get to the World Series, well,
we'd like 4 home games.
Yeah, that would be nice. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And a fastball just missing the outer edge, knee high, 1-1. But yeah, Will Smith, he's been, that slider that he's got, no lefties hit it. The only time I've seen anybody hit it was in Minnesota. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Wave and a miss. Montero well out in front of that slider, 1-2. And that was Arcia, who just rolled one through the right side. And that guy's a special hitter, Oswaldo Arcia from the Twins. But very few guys are able to do anything with that slider, especially lefties.
And that's really the scouting report we had got both from our scouts and some of the numbers that.
Wave and a miss on another slider, and Montero strikes out as Smith has struck out about half of the lefties he's faced this year. 1 away, Goldschmidt at first. 6-3 Brewers in the 8th. Aaron Hill coming up.
Yeah, we had looked at is that even last year with Kansas City, his slider was the best slider in baseball. It was swung and missed at the most of any pitch in baseball by percentage. So he's backing up those numbers this year, and he's backing up the strong opinion some of our scouts had of him.
Hill 0 for 3. That's rare against the Brewers. He takes a strike, 0-1. 6-3 Brewers in the 8th. You mentioned the swing percentage on his slider. And how much do the Brewers look at, say, maybe finding a number to look at a player, and then sometimes do they look at a player and then look at the numbers? Does it work both ways? 0-1 is down and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Whereas, the numbers guys might say, hey, we're noticing these numbers. Take a look and see if this jibes. Does it work that way sometimes?
I think it works both ways, and I think that's the best way maybe to use it is it can point out players to you, and it can.
1-1 pitch, swinging a ground ball up the middle towards second. Jeanette has it, touches the bag, throws on to first for a double play. 4-3, the inning-ending double play. A hit, no one left. And I'll talk with you more, Craig. We've been all of our conversations truncated by innings. That's good in this case. 9th inning coming up. Reynolds, Segura, and Herrera do up. It's still 6-3 Brewers.
Life seems to move faster and...
Ninth inning coming up. Brewers looking to add to a 6-3 lead. And Arizona will bring on their 4th pitcher of the night, right-hander J.J. Putz.
Putz making his 17th appearance of the season. 1-1 with a 5.0 ERA. This will be his 4th appearance since about a 5-week DL stint for most of the month of May. One-time very good closer, the Seattle Mariners.
And also here with Arizona, too. He'll face his former teammate, Mark Reynolds. Then Gene Segura, Herrera coming up here in the 9th inning. 6-3 Brewers lead. Puts ready and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike one. When you faced old teammates, pitchers, how did you feel going up there? More confident or the same?
No, it was less because you had faced him less. So
0-1, and it's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I always felt a little more comfortable than guys that you had faced a lot. So generally, old teammates, you hadn't faced them a lot, and although you had played behind him and certainly knew every pitch they were throwing, you hadn't stepped in the batter's box against them generally.
Reynolds will step off. Want to finish up what we were talking about last night, too, since I have such a short memory. But we were talking about how the Brewers work with numbers, and sometimes numbers can lead you to a player. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up. High in the sky into that evening black night. And it's caught by the second baseman Hill in shallow center field. Reynolds retired for the first out of the 9th. 6-3 Brewers. And Gene Segura coming up. Go ahead, Craig.
Well, I think for the Brewers, I think it often works both ways. And, there's times when your scouts bring the players to you, and there's times when you have ideas about numbers produce ideas for your scouts. And I think that kind of balance is what I think Doug Melvin tries to achieve with a lot of his trying to looking for talent out there, or looking for players that he may be interested in acquiring. It's that balance that I think is helpful.
First pitch in for a strike to Segura. Because the numbers can't always tell the whole story, that's for sure. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, chopped hard to third. Prado was playing in. Fields and throws on to first to retire Segura. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Elian Herrera, 1 out of 3, coming up with the bases clear and 2 outs. 6-3 Brewers here in the 9th. And K-Rod warming in the bullpen. Likely coming on to try to preserve this 6-3 advantage. Hey, visit your local independent liquor store and buy 1 24-pack of Summer Shandy and 1 12-pack of any other Leinenkugel seasonal and receive a free Summerfest ticket. On first pitch, Herrera swings and misses. Strike one. Yeah, for instance, if you see a number, that sticks out at you, some sabermetrics number, or just a guy who's putting up big numbers or what have you, and then you go and you see the guy over a period of time, the 0-1, and it's low, 1 ball, 1 strike, and we've always heard the adage, well, he's hitting a soft 300, or this guy doesn't get the big hit, or he does get the big hit, or things like that. I think that's when the scouts come into play, because you have to characterize the numbers, right?
That's what the scouts do it for you. And the scouts are also very good at
1-1, a wave and a miss on a ball in the dirt, 1-2.
Just measuring, physical tools, measuring, being able to put a evaluation on speed, put an evaluation on, even though a fastball is 91, maybe it's a different kind of fastball. Maybe there's deception to the fastball. And so having the scout's eyes are what kind of serve that purpose.
1-2 pitch, down low, 2-2. Always more valuable than numbers, but not to discount numbers entirely. I like that there's a balance.
Yeah, I mean, the scouts in the stands tell you things that, the numbers don't, and that's where the balance comes in. And there's certain things that you just can't see unless you're in the park. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Herrera waiting. And the pitch. Swinging a line drive, base hit into right center. Herrera out of the box quickly. He turns first, heading to 2, and he'll slide in head first with a double. He thought 2 all the way. And Elian Herrera with his second hit tonight. A 2-out, 2-bagger. And that means another $50 to the MAC Fund, courtesy of West Bend, the Silver Lining. Well, that play right there could be on our Tom Amansky video tonight of how to get a double out of the box, because he thought double, like you said, right out of the box. It was really just a sharp ground ball hit to the backhand side of second base, and Herrera thinking double all the way out of the box made it really easy.
And Will Smith is done after an inning. Martin Maldonado is going to pinch hit for him. Right-handed batter, and the first pitch inside, that hit him in the hand, I believe. And so Maldonado hit with a pitch. Let's see where it got him. Oh, in that right elbow.
Just grazed him, it looks like. Kirk Gibson coming out to talk to home plate umpire Paul Schreiber.
Well, he's used his challenge. So if he wants the umpires to look at it, he has to ask. He can't tell him to. Now, if it hit him first and then hit his bat, he's hit with a pitch.
And really, the umpires make that call based on the hitter's reaction. They don't always see it hit the guy, but it's hard to react. If a ball hits you, you react. And so oftentimes the home plate umpire just does that on the reaction. You saw Maldonado react just right away on that. So no review.
Herrera at second, Maldonado at first with 2 outs for Scooter Gennett. 1 for 4. He swings and lofts it foul off to the left. Strike 1. Gennett had a long home run leading off the 3rd inning to deep center field. And over the, you said about 25-foot wall. That sounds about right. Towering blast for the diminutive second baseman. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it's a strike at the knees, 0-2. He's got pretty big forearms, though. I think, you look at his stature and his build, he doesn't have a big frame. He's about 5'10", but he's got some strong forearms, and he can really muscle up on a ball on occasion if he gets the right pitch. He's down 2 strikes here. Puts ready. There goes Herrera to third. Pitches a ball. Throw to third. Herrera steals third base. That's his first steal as a Brewer. I showed good speed on that double, and right there getting a good jump against Montero.
Well, there's a Ron Renicky, always 2 outs, 2 strikes, doesn't matter, going to be aggressive.
And even with a left-handed batter up, Montero had an easy pathway to throw on to third, and Herrera still beat the throw. So now runners at the corners. Brewers with a 2-out rally last inning. They got 4 straight men to reach. Scored 3 times tonight. First 2 men out. And then the last 2 have reached. Kirk Gibson out again. Talking with third base umpire Will Little. Will Little is not sure of himself, so he's going to ask the crew chief Ted Barrett to take a look. So Kirk Gibson in this 3-run game wants to try to keep it as close as he can. He's asked the umpires to make a review. Herrera is going to be safe on this. Unless he came off the bag. No, he didn't. Yep, he's going to be safe. But Will Little thought it was close enough to take a look at.
Well, that's interesting. It was Gibson really. That seemed to go to review very quickly. Gibson literally just walked out there, and Will Little was running to the review stand.
This is an umpire review. This is not a managerial challenge. The Diamondbacks are out of challenges, but they're suggesting that Herrera was tagged in the helmet before he slid into second base or third base. Now the super extra slow motion replay shows that Herrera beat the slide in, but his foot was off the bag. I guess. Was his rear foot in on the bag? I don't know.
His foot may have come off the bag while the tag was still on his helmet.
I don't want to sound like sour grapes, because if they do overturn it, it goes against the Brewers. But it's these kind of plays that replay. In real life, you'd never be able to tell, but because you can slow it down to 10,000 frames per second for, a 1,000th of a second, he was out, maybe, I think. And it's just, are we getting to that point in the game? I just,
well, you're right. Nobody would have ever thought of questioning that call without the super slow-mo technology.
And here in the 9th inning of a game, we're 2 to 3 minutes into a challenge here, and I can't blame Kirk Gibson. He's playing within the rules, and he got them to look at it. He did not have a challenge. In my opinion, they should change that for the umpires to look at the plays that they think only. Take it out of the manager's hands, and then that way, if there's anything that's perhaps egregious, then they can take a look at it, but otherwise there's no way for managers to talk them into something late in a game. If you're out of a challenge and there's a play that's missed, there should be recourse, and there is. But on a play like that, which was bang bang and he was safe until you slow it down and watch his right foot buckle and rise above the bag momentarily by, 5 centimeters. Might have been tagged by the strings on his glove.
Well, you can tell this is a difficult one because it's taken a while, and the replay official in New York is having to look at this one over and over, it looks like to me.
And they usually are looking at the replay before the replay even comes down, because any close play, they're already starting to look at it. I'm wondering if they didn't look at this play yet, because by the naked eye, there was no reason to even consider a review. And so we're waiting. Here in the 9th inning, the Brewers have a 6-3 lead. Elian Herrera has just stolen third base. Diamondbacks have convinced the umpires to make an official review. This is not a challenge. Kirk Gibson is out of challenges. And so the replay officials in New York will tell Ted Barrett what to say. They look like they're about to take their headsets off, but they've done that twice already. All right. He's safe. Not enough to overturn it. Ted Barrett, crew chief, and here comes Kirk Gibson. Will Little is trying to get him to not argue. Hey, you can't argue. You can't argue the review, and that's what Ted Barrett's saying. You're out of the game. Kirk Gibson cannot argue, and that's why we have this in place, and Gibson's been ejected from the game. Ted Barrett didn't make the call.
Well, this is the strange This is the twilight zone this is where we enter the twilight zone for replay, because Kirk Gibson is arguing with somebody who didn't make the call. Somebody in New York made this call, and Gibson's arguing with somebody who didn't make the call.
And he's hot, and he's pointing at Ted Barrett. Will Little put up his hand, said, "Hey, don't go out there, you're going to get thrown out." And Ted Barrett put out his hands and said, "Hey, Gibby, just go back, you can't argue." And as soon as he started to argue, you're not allowed to argue the replay. Once the replay has been, he was out of challenges. He got, I understand his frustration, but
they would have needed to give him the headset to argue it.
That's next. First and third with 2 outs. It's 1-2 to Scooter Gennett here in the ninth. The pitch. It's in the dirt. Montero blocks it. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Gennett. Yeah, that's all. All right, Gibby, you want to give it to Paul Emmel or whoever's back in New York? Or the people that review it in New York, these aren't just, guys off the street that need a job. These are the same umpires we're seeing out here every night. So these are Major League umpires rotating in. They rotate into New York and work the replay center. So Gibson has been ejected. 2-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball up the middle, past the dive of Hill. It's in the center, a base hit. Herrera comes in to score, and because the Diamondbacks could not get that replay in their favor, the Brewers add on a 9th inning Badger Mutual Insurance run. It's 7-3. And Scooter Gennett with his second hit tonight. Here comes Ryan Braun.
Well, that's a good insurance run to maybe take Frankie Rodriguez out of the game, and now that we're in a non-save situation.
Left-hander is loosening in the Brewers bullpen. Here's the pitch, and it gets between the legs of Maldonado and to the backstop. Everyone advances on a wild pitch. That's Zach Duke warming in the Brewers bullpen. Yeah, usually a team you say, oh, the lefty's up. Well, the Brewers have 4 of them. So Duke would face Peralta, a lefty, Owings, a righty, and then Kieschnick, a lefty. If acting manager Alan Trammell decides to go with any pinch hitters, that could change that. 1-0 to Ryan Braun, second and third with 2 outs. Pitch from Putz, swinging a pop-up foul and out of play. 1-1. The Brewers with 3 2-out runs in the 8th inning. 2 outs, nobody on. They score 3. 2 outs, nobody on in this inning. They've scored a run. Got a chance for more. Base hit, could play the pair here. Ball and a strike to Braun. But sets and delivers. Swinging a high fly ball deep to right center field. Peralta looking back, and it's off the wall. And it's by Parra. Peralta will throw it in. Braun hustling into third. He'll stand up with a 2-run triple. And the Brewers have broken it wide open. It's 9-3.
Well, a great sign for the start of the road trip. Ryan Braun starting to heat up some solid contact the opposite field. Driving this ball in the pool area, just in front of the pool area, and rattling around out there for a triple and 2 more RBIs.
Brewers score 3 runs with 2 outs and nobody on in consecutive innings in the 8th and 9th. Jonathan Lucroy coming up. 9-3 Brewers. And the first pitch, it's in for a strike on the outer edge to Lucroy. 1 for 3, a single and a walk. And the pitch, swinging a ground ball, laced foul up the third base line. 2 strikes to Lucroy. These Brewers bats have been, it's getting close to a month now where the Brewers are averaging better than 5 runs a game. And on a night where they went quiet, first 3 innings, pounded out 6 hits, 3 runs. Middle innings, Brandon McCarthy shut him down, and then against the Arizona bullpen, they've come alive again. Check swing and a ball up high, and no swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Lucroy. This is a deep lineup, even without Carlos Gomez tonight, who sat out with a hamstring concern.
We've had a good night from Elian Herrera with 2 base hits.
Stolen base, a great play in center field, too. Run at third with 2 outs. 1-2 from Putz. Outside, 2-2. Brewers with 3 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th, leading 9-3. Putz comes set. Here's the 2-2 to Lucroy. Swinging a pop foul. Off to the right and out of play. Brewers starting the road trip in good fashion. Brewers went 5-3 on that last trip. Quick 3-game homestand and then back out on the road. Here's the set, the 2-2 again. Swinging a fly ball back of second. Hill is there. He'll make the catch. And the inning is over. Brewers strike for 3 more. On 3 hits and they strand a man. Bottom of the 9th coming up in Arizona. Brewers 9, Diamondbacks 3.
Violence in the...
Here we go. Bottom of the 9th inning. And the Brewers have a 9-3 lead over Arizona. And they'll turn to Zach Duke to try to close it down here tonight.
Duke, the second of the Brewers lefties tonight, making his 32nd appearance. 4-0 record with a 1.32 ERA. And another member of this bullpen who's been a really important part of the Brewers' success.
And he's going to face 2 out of 3 lefties here. Peralta, a lefty, then Owings. And another lefty due up, Roger Kieschnick. Kirk Gibson has been ejected from the game. Brewers with 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, all with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. And it's down low, ball 1. David Peralta, 2 for 3. Brewers got 2 in the 2nd inning. Run scoring triple by Chris Davis. The pitch and a strike. 1-1. Arizona came back with 3 in the bottom of the 2nd off Brewers starter Willie Peralta. He gave up 4 singles to start that inning, including one to Brandon McCarthy, which drove in a pair of runs. Curveball in for a strike, 1-2. Brewers immediately tied it. Scooter Gennett leading off the 3rd inning with a towering home run. The pitch down and away, 2-2 to center field, the deepest part of this ballpark. Had to have been 430, 440 feet. Big blast that tied it, and then both teams' bats went dormant. Pitch now low and away, 3-2 to Peralta. Brewers with 2 men on, should say 2 outs and nobody on in the 8th. Score 3 times and do the same in the 9th. 3-2. Swinging a miss. Peralta heading to first. Maldonado throws on to first. Good scoop by Reynolds to get this strikeout. Reynolds fell down after getting that in between hop. That was not a routine play. Maldonado in to catch on the double switch for Lucroy. And they get the strikeout for the first out of the 9th.
Well, beautiful play by both Maldonado and Reynolds here. Tough plays. Maldonado with a tough throw, and Reynolds with a great scoop.
He has been fun to watch in the field, Mark Reynolds. At third and at first. 9-3 Brewers. Here's Chris Owings. And he takes one down low, ball one. Ninth inning. Bases clear, one out.
There's an old scouting theory that says just draft shortstops. Mark Reynolds was a college shortstop. And
1-0 pitch. Outside 2-0.
You see those shortstops seem to be able to go at other positions and still show their kind of athleticism and their defensive ability all over the field.
2-0 pitch. Swinging a ball looped foul off to the right. 2-1 to Chris Owings. Well, Reynolds just had to fill in at third where he came up playing when Aramis Ramirez was on the DL. The set, the 2-1. Down and in, 3-1. Forget how long it was for, but he played at least part of a game last year at second base with the Yankees. Chewing on some sunflower seeds out there. The pitch is rolled through the right side, a base hit for Owings. Diamondbacks have a one-out base runner on Owings' second hit. Left-handed batting Roger Kieschnick coming up. 9-3 Brewers in the ninth. Zach Duke signed, like Mark Reynolds, signed a minor league deal to join the Brewers out of spring training and made the roster. The pitch, wave and a miss, strike one. And Zach Duke was a failed starter. I mean, he even said it himself, you know, just starting pitching after being an all-star at that position did not work for him over time. The 0-1 sidearm curveball fouled off and 2 strikes to him. But now he's been very effective as a reliever.
I think he's, you know, you give him credit because he understood where his career was going. He was struggling as a starting pitcher. He's made this transition to the bullpen. He's created some different arm angles for himself as a bullpen guy.
0-2 pitch, drops down with a sidearm curve, 1-2.
And he's remade himself, and varies his looks to left-handed hitters, which makes him very tough on left-handed hitters. But as a starter, he's still faced enough right-handed hitters, so he's got some weapons for right-handed hitters.
1-2 pitch, kind of a quick pitch fastball, and fouled it off to the left. Still 1-2 to Kieschnick.
And he's just kind of taken on that savvy veteran that understands pitching and understands that he has to constantly kind of remake himself if he wants to stay in the league, if he wants to be a successful pitcher.
And he's having a great year. That fastball at 90, it's not like he can't throw anymore. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Overhand curve, and that drops a little low, 2-2. But yeah, he's got 2-3 different arm angles. I said when I met him in spring training, what do you throw? He's like, what don't I throw? And now I can answer that. He doesn't throw a knuckleball. That's about it. A no eephus pitch. Runner goes, 2-2 pitch is strike 3 call. Kieschnick caught looking for the second out. Owings steals second base. And Cody Ross pinch hitting for J.J. Putz is the last chance for Arizona here in the ninth. Brewers leading 9-3. Ross at 194 with a home run. Now they're going to not award Owings a stolen base. He was being held on. Close enough, at least. And the first pitch. Curveball in for a strike. It's 0-1. So a little known fact about Zach Duke will stay in place. He has not allowed a stolen base all season.
All right.
And he still hasn't.
Holds runners well.
Even in 6-run games. Owings at second with 2 outs. 1 strike to Cody Ross. Here's the pitch. And it's low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Putz win an inning, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs. Harris on the hook for the Diamondbacks. Peralta could be the winner. The pitch Outside, 2-1 to Cody Ross. Brewers broke a 3-3 tie with 3 2-out runs in the 8th, 3 2-out runs in the 9th. 2-1 from Zach Duke. Swinging a ball hit well to center. Herrera is there. He'll make the catch, and the ball game is over. The Brewers take game 1 of this road trip. They beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 9-3. Back with the totals right after this. Again, the final. Brewers 9, Arizona 3. Back in a moment on the Brewers Radio Network. Milwaukee Brewers baseball is sponsored by Miller Lite. Now Prince. And for the victorious Brewers tonight, 9 runs on 12 hits, no errors, and 3 left. Brewers are now 42-29. For Arizona, 3 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and 6 left. The Diamondbacks are now 30-43. Home runs in the game. Scooter Gennett hit his 4th, a long home run in the 3rd inning off Brandon McCarthy. And Arizona without a home run tonight. Winning pitcher Willie Peralta goes to 7-5. The loss goes to Will Harris. He's now 0-2. Time of the game, 3 hours before 18,262 here at Chase Field. And it's time now for our Chevrolet Star of the Game. Craig, who you got tonight?
Let's go with the Ramos Ramirez tonight. He was 3 for 4. Of course, had the big 2-out double in the 3-run 8th inning that really broke the game open for the Brewers and gave them a 5-3 lead at the time. And 3-2 pitch, big hit of the game for sure. So Ramos Ramirez, tonight's player of the game.
Yeah, he stung the ball all 4 times tonight. Chevrolet, official sponsor of the Brewers. Well, join Craig and I tomorrow as the Brewers will take on the Diamondbacks. We'll have the Marshfield Clinic pregame show again for you at 8:05. First pitch at 8:40. Kyle Loesch is going to go for the Crew. He'll oppose the left-hander Wade Miley. And thanks again for joining us, and for Craig Counsell and our producer-engineer Kent Sommerfeld, my name is Joe Block, inviting you to stay tuned for the TravelWisconsin.com postgame show. Again, the final tonight from Chase Field. It was the Brewers 9 and the Arizona Diamondbacks 3. So long.